where we'll start with yesterday. 2 o'clock. Daily meeting. Okay. No, I'm sorry. 2 o'clock you had a summative with Logistical.
I did. And I think I had it from 2 until 2:30, but it actually lasted until 2:35.
Okay.
Because then I was racing to get to dismissal on time.
Okay. All right. And then after dismissal, you had an IEP meeting?
I did not. It got canceled.
Okay.
Sadness. And so from 3:10 to 3:30, I looked at data because our EOG scores retests had been scanned, and I wanted to see where our data stood.
Okay.
And then following that, you'll be very proud of me. I closed the door and I worked from 3:30 until 4:45 straight typing summatives. And here are the summatives that I got accomplished during that time. T. Williams and T. Andrew.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, I know, but
they're very time intensive.
Well, this one in particular is time intensive because it's just a long form. Okay, so then from 4:45 until 5:00, so the Catawba River District, I did not go to that meeting. Then from 4:45 until 5:05, I debriefed with Mr. B so that we were okay for today and making sure that all of the logistics were taken care of.
Okay.
Then at 5:05, I left the building.
Okay.
At 8:30, I started doing data analysis to prepare for the zone meeting today, the correlation stuff that has to do with Ames Web and all that. I did that from 8:30 until 10:25.
So is that coded out of building?
Yes.
Yes.
It is out of building.
But I just want it on there so I can track my evening, what I'm doing in the evening. Because one of my goals is to try to... Didn't do a good job last night, but sometimes it has to happen. It just is a goal. Yeah.
Okay.
So that gets us through last night.
So is there anything else for yesterday? Do you need to do any feedback or?
Let me just think about that. T. Williams, T. Andrew, data for zone meeting. Yes, at some point next week, I want to pencil in about 2 hours during the day, if possible, to continue. The only grade level I did data for the zone meeting today was 4th grade, but I want to make sure that I get that data for the other grade levels, specifically 3rd and 5th grade.
Okay.
So if we could, if we could shoot for Tuesday, that would be wonderful.
Okay, and what time? Tuesday.
Let's try maybe, let's do 1 to 2:30. Because that tends to be a quieter, no, I need a daily meeting. Let's try 12:30 to 2. How about that?
Okay.
And then we'll see how far I get, and then if I need more time, we can schedule it. But that's the only thing that comes to mind right this minute.
Okay. And you said about 2 hours, right? So 12:30 to 2.
That'll give me at least a starting point, and then if I need to add more, I can.
Okay. All right. Shall we move to Wednesday?
We are so ready for Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. Staff email prep for today?
Did it.
Okay, and you met with Mark?
I did, from about 7 until 8:15, and we went through all of the stuff that he needs for his internship. We also went through data, teacher survey results, all of that good stuff.
Okay. And then you had like a little break between 8:15 and 8:30.
Let me think just for 1 second. So the follow-up for him, I need to make sure that we write down he's coming back for retention meetings at 9:45 on Friday, and like he'll be here for a chunk of time throughout that day. So if there's anything in particular that we think he needs to see,
I can email him and remind him.
That would be fabulous. I think he's got all the data that he needs. He's got the school improvement plan. What he is going to need help on, though, is balanced literacy, because he just doesn't know anything about it. And I know you did your project on that, and like we're implementing that sort of thing. So I did refer him to you so that we could help get him what he needs.
Okay.
Because in order to help look at the data, and he's now got the data, but in order to revise the school improvement plan, he's going to need to be able to have some kind of semblance of an understanding of balanced literacy.
I'll email him everything that I have ahead of Friday, and then we can go over any of it on Friday while he's here for retention meeting.
The other thing that comes to mind is that if anybody's running that framework at all, I know there's assessing like crazy going on right now, but if there's anybody like Cox or Singleton who might be still running that framework.
I'm working on some videos next week.
Beautiful.
For our staff, and I can share those with him.
Because I think it'd be great for him to be able to see it.
Yep.
Okay. I think, let me just think, is there anything else that I need to follow up with him on? No, we're good.
Okay.
So from about 8:15 until 8:25, I greeted visitors, walked them down to the room, made sure we were good.
We were good there.
You were excellent. I mean, it's all good to go. And then the meeting started. We started right at 8:35.
Right at 8:35. Right on schedule.
8:35.
Okay.
And we ended right at
10:30.
Cha-ching.
It was great. It was really, really good.
You're very efficient with time.
Thank you.
So we did that. Okay, so then from 10:30 until about 10:50, I met and talked. No, that lasted until 11 because then I had a summative and that's why I had to stop. From 10:30 until 11, I walked with Michael, another intern who was shadowing me for the morning. And so we walked particularly pre-K K1 to make sure he kind of had a feel for the building. He could see the garden area and all that sort of thing. I don't know that there's any follow-up. Like, does he need anything from me specifically?
No, for that assignment, he just had to spend 3 hours shadowing you and reflect on the differences.
What he saw. Okay, so there's not anything in specifically that I need to do.
Nothing he'll need. And if he does, I can get it to him.
Okay, fabulous. I never got to officially say goodbye to him because I had to summative after that. So
Right.
if you see him, when you see him, will you just say
I will.
goodbye?
Goodbye.
Adios. You can say it in whatever language you want. I'm sure I'll run into you again one day, but farewell. Goodbye. We can do this whole Sound of Music. Okay, so immediately following that, I did my summative with Cynthia Johnson.
Okay.
That lasted only until 11:20.
Okay.
Good to go. I need, though, this afternoon, like I went through all of the information, but for hers is on Liquid Office, and so I need to put it into the computer so that she can sign it.
Into
Liquid Office. So like I typed it all out in a Word document, but then I need it to go into, I need to put it into Liquid Office, and it honestly takes longer than I would like. So I was hoping to do that after my summative with Teresa Andrew this afternoon.
Okay.
Like maybe from 3:30 to 3:40. Do I have time then?
Assuming our staff meeting is over.
Yeah, it will be over.
Oh, that's right. It has to be, so 3:10 to 3:30, but then I need to meet with her from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, so I got to do, okay, 4 to 4:10. Eeks. Okay, yeah, I got it.
So do you want me to put that when you in here where you type the summatives for the other ones? Can you do it all in that same block from 4 to 5?
Yes, but here's the reason I think we need to code it differently is because that would be managerial because all I'm doing is cutting and pasting and clicking. Like I'm not actually thinking about what I'm doing because I've already thought about it.
Okay.
But the rest of them I think would be instructional because I'm thinking about what I'm doing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So do you want me to go ahead and put it on here right after
4 to 4:10.
Andrews? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that's Liquid Office. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that would be managerial.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is that it as far as that? As far as Ms.
Yeah.
Johnson? Okay. So at 11:25, 11:20.
So 11:20, I went to go. You're going to be very proud of me. Celebrate with Dr. Slee because she did a good job with her
She did a great job.
presentation, and she
Very good job.
really worked so hard at having the right verbiage and all that sort of thing.
She really did.
So from 11:20 to 11:30, we got into yet another conversation about norms and national benchmarks and everything like that. But it was really good, and it
Good
helps us with the
conversation.
messaging for next year. So that happened from 11:20 to 11:30. Then from 11:30 to 11:40, I needed to come back and deal with just a small personnel matter just to make sure we're staffed for next year.
Okay.
From 11:40 to 12, I ate my corn dog with one hand, and I
Ketchup or
this
no
one
ketchup?
with a little ketchup, and I typed Clark's summative, but I only got part way through.
Okay.
So we'll come back to that one.
All right.
From 12 to 12:20, exciting times. I went to the iPad training that's happening with pre-K and kindergarten folks. They got their iPads today. I just wanted to know what they were being told.
And that was actually tied to assessment. So I think, I mean, not assessment, but instruction.
Yeah.
So it can be green.
So professional development for instruction.
It's going to impact instruction and assessment technically.
Well, and I need to know how to be able to observe them and all that and foster that. So, okay.
Okay.
So 12 to 12:20. From 12:20 to 12:30, I debriefed with Renee.
Okay.
This should be, so those were all things that got added in there, but 12:30 is on there. I summatived with T. Williams, but that lasted until 1:20 instead of 1 o'clock. Incidentally, we talked a lot about things for next year that we can do to build up the TD program, specifically starting to work with first graders to start building some skills so that they could have a stronger performance on the portfolio assessment. also working with second graders from day one
Okay.
at the beginning of next year to prepare them for the portfolio assessment and help build that.
Okay.
Long term, like 2 to 3 years moving, I want to start to get her to do some PD with teachers around like what are some TD strategies that could build our teachers' capacity to do higher level strategies with students. So I just wanted to let you know that because I want to schedule a time around August to go ahead and get that rolling with her.
So I'm thinking before intervention team starts, or once it lets up, there can be an enrichment intervention team.
And I'd love to even like kind of have a master plan before the school year gets started, like with facilitators and before we get started to kind of have a plan in place about how we want to start to move that forward.
Gotcha.
She also is interested in starting chess club and science Olympiad if she has somebody else that would do it with her. So I just, before we left that, I want to make sure that we get that on the radar for August.
Sure.
Okay, so we did that 120.
120.
Okay, 120 I got back and I resumed my work with Clark's Summative.
You typing? So did you just type Clark's?
I did, and so I got until about 1:45, and then realized I don't understand some of the parts of her data. Like I don't understand where mastery is for some of the areas for pre-K. I don't know it as well.
Different.
So I went to actually go find her, realized she was in iPad training. So I popped in the iPad training for about 5 minutes to see if there was a small moment, and she's going to get me the data that I need. So the whole time I spent working on the summative, it just required a little movement in that time, however you want to do with that. And then now we're here.
Okay.
Can we talk a little bit about the afternoon? Because I need to put some things in there for this afternoon. So my goal would be that we'd be done by 2:25 at the latest. Then we'll do dismissal, that's in there, faculty meeting, that's in there, summative with T. Andrew, that's in there. We're going to put C. Johnson in liquid office from 4 to 4:10. Now, from 4:10 until 5:15, it's going to have to be today, I have to get the following done before tomorrow. Have to because I have the meeting scheduled.
Right.
Doolittle Summative, I have to get typed.
Right.
Have to get Halford typed.
And Beckler.
And I have to get Beckler typed. You're exactly right.
Okay.
There are 4 more that I need to amend before Friday, but I think we're going to need to schedule that for tomorrow in just a few minutes. I was hoping to get into that tonight. This afternoon, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Okay.
I might have to do it tonight a little bit. Could we look at
Tomorrow.
Yep, which is what day of the week? Thursday.
Tomorrow is Thursday.
Okay.
Short week.
Thank you. I needed a little
Short weeks always be the longest week.
Yes, they are.
Okay. So some things we had already scheduled. Can you walk me through that? What we've already got scheduled for the morning?
So staff email prep for the day at 8 from 6:30 to 7:10.
Yes.
Student supervision 7:15 to 7:45.
Yes.
Clark summative at 8 o'clock to 8:30.
Yes, I have to do that.
Beckler 8:30 to 9. Doolittle 9 to 9:30.
Yes.
RTI 9:30.
Yes,
to
we're leaving for the
12:30.
RTI meeting at
9:30 sharp.
PDC.
PDC.
9:30. It lasts until supposedly on paper noon.
Right.
So we'd be back by 12:30.
Correct.
Correct?
Okay. So you have time after that when you come back at 12:30, between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
So could we move lunch up to 12:30 because I have a little feeling we're going to be hungry.
Okay.
So let's do lunch and email from 12:30 to 1. There's a slight chance we'll get done early, like one could always hope, but we need this information, so this will be good. So here are the things I need to get in. I still need, where am I now? I'm at 12:30 to 1?
So 1 o'clock.
Okay, and then what do I have scheduled? Like how big a chunk of time do I have?
Until 2 o'clock. For our daily meeting tomorrow. And then dismissal, and then Halford's at 3 to 3:30.
And the 2 o'clock daily meeting will have visitors?
Have some visitors, correct.
Okay. All right, so from 1 to 2, I need to figure out how I'm going to get Gabrielle's summative done while she's in the hospital.
Okay.
So I think I can do it by phone, but I just need to contact her, try to go ahead and get it all typed up, and then figure out if I'm going to, what would be best. I think probably doing it by phone is going to be best, but can I do that at 1 o'clock tomorrow?
Sure can.
So that I can make sure.
So how long do you need to?
I think that whole process is probably going to take from 1 to 2, and I think part of it's going to be managerial, like the logistical piece of how I'm going to get it done, but then the other piece, it's her renewal year, so I need to...
What hospital is she in? Is it close to
Presbyterian,
PDC?
Maine. I think it's near me. I think I could do it on my way home one day. I just... She jokingly says she wants 2 days notice on all visits so that she can get her hair done. So I just got to make sure I got the right.
Summative will be a welcome.
No, she's not joking. So I mean, like, I won't show up unless I have told her in advance. But she might have access to a computer in which we could just do it over the phone. I really kind of
Skype also because we talked about that.
Okay, good. And I need to visit her anyway at some point, so I'm gonna see if we can work.
Well, does she have an iPad?
She does not. I already asked her.
Did a face.
But she might be able to borrow somebody's. We'll talk to her.
Okay, I just need to work on that between 1 and 2.
Okay.
There are also 5 summatives that I need to amend. So, well, let's just keep going. So 2 o'clock is daily meeting.
And then dismissal.
Yep.
Okay, so right after daily meeting, do you want to do a celebration?
See, that's one of my goals.
I think it'd be great if you could celebrate Sarah Fisher for what she did.
She did a great job today. She did a demonstration of
it was really good.
It was really good, and she was calm, cool, and collected.
Very.
Okay.
She's impressive.
I think that would be good.
Okay, so celebration with Sarah at 2:30.
Yeah.
And then dismissal and summative with Halford.
Hold tight. Can I do one more thing? Speaking of celebrations, Elijah did an awesome job on her end of grade test.
She also had a wonderful attitude.
She's one of the small groups that I think she's happy that she did well. Can we find a 5-minute time slot sometime during the day?
Sure.
That I can do that. Maybe like right after carpool in the morning.
Okay.
If I could just go and touch base with her and just say congratulations.
So 7:45. Okay, and so you have time after Halford's, which is 3:30.
Yeah, here's the problem. That's the time I'm starting it at 3:30, or I'm ending it at 3:30.
You're ending it at 3:30.
So my son has his end-of-year 3-year-old daycare program tomorrow.
You have to be there.
They're singing a surprise tweet song, and I'm not sure what it is. So at 3:30, I'm going to skedaddle over to the daycare to do the program, which leaves me in a little bit of a pinch around how I'm going to get the other documents amended, but I think that I'm going to have to work on that like Wednesday and Thursday night. And it's a summative deadline, so don't be mad at me.
Won't be.
But then after Friday, I shouldn't have to do too much at home anymore.
Okay.
Okay, but we'll just reconcile that when it comes time.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Yes, funny that you should ask. No, in all seriousness, there are 2 things that I gotta get done.
Okay.
The one that's urgent that we need to get on there is that I need to sit down with you, even for just 15 minutes, and talk about money. Because I know that you've gone through and we have additional Title I money that needs to be spent. One thing we had talked, I didn't even want to say it.
$1,000. Just
In front of her. One of the things that, in all seriousness, we can look at that.
Okay, yeah.
At guidance curriculum, I'd like to augment the materials that we have for the guidance curriculum. And when I talked with Ms. Johnson in her summative today, she has some ideas about that. She's going to get me that stuff by Friday. The thing that is the most urgent for me, though, is that we had talked at one point about trying to purchase growing readers for people for the summer.
Right.
And if we were to do that, we would need it to be able to arrive. And I'm not even sure we can make that timeline out of Title I money.
Who publishes the book, do you know?
I have absolutely no idea. Do you mind doing a little research?
Sure,
and then maybe we could touch base. You're looking at me like, girl, you're not going to be able to touch base tomorrow. Okay.
No, you probably won't. Just
we won't be able to pull it through Title I.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm talking as far as that's meeting.
Well, what about in the car on the way to PDC? If I drive, you could talk on the phone.
We could do that.
Honestly.
Or is there between 7:45 and 8 before my first summative? Like I have 15 minutes there, right?
On Friday?
No, Thursday. Could we do?
Well, you're going to
celebrations.
If that should only take me 5 minutes. Could I do that from 7:45? Like not even come to my office, go straight to do the celebration, and then come back? And could we touch base like at 7:50?
Yeah.
I know that's a kind of a crazy time in the office, but if you could have it all ready to go, then we could just decide whether we can
you
move
want to
it
do
forward.
that tomorrow? You want to do that Friday?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I totally lied to you. Sorry. Let's go ahead and do it tomorrow because I'm worried about the growing readers piece.
I am too.
The other piece we could touch base on Friday about, which would be every other thing that's on the wish list.
So you're wanting 36 copies, I assume?
However many for classroom teachers and support staff.
And support staff, okay.
Because I don't think paraprofessional staff, well, let's find out how much it is and see what we can swing.
Okay.
How about that?
Got it.
And if there are any other things on the wish list, then that would be the Friday meeting. But tomorrow, all we're doing is trying to make sure we've got growing readers.
Okay.
Because that would be the urgent one to get before end of school.
Got it.
I also need to make sure at some point we revisit volunteer hours, and I know that sounds crazy. We had talked a little bit about it. I just want to make sure that Ms. Gregory's getting them in the right spot, and so that we get credit for it on our school progress report too. But that just helped me remember that. That's not of the urgent this week.
I know that system.
Report's supposed to go in though every month.
Okay, so that should be happening, and we should be in good shape.
Right.
It should be. Yeah.
I'd love to just remind me next week. When things settle down, I need to schedule a time to sit with her and just make sure that it's all happening. I have no reason to believe it's not. I just want to make sure that it was good. Can I just check one more thing on the weekly bulletin? Textbook check is due, but that's good. I think I'll put that on the update tomorrow morning. We have 2 IEPs. Ms. Doolittle's doing both of those. We're at a meeting. The AR celebration is tomorrow.
For K2.
For K2, and I think this one is for the whole school, and then K2 is Friday.
Gotcha.
But I think there's coverage for everybody tomorrow, so we should be in good shape there, and I'll just touch base with Mr. B to make sure that we're good to go. Let me just also check for Friday. Is there anything I need to do tomorrow to be prepared for Friday? Retention meetings all day long. People are sending me their information so that we're ready for that.
Any of that you get, if you want to forward it to me, I will pull intervention stuff to match.
That would be awesome. And the other thing I will need to do is make copies of the lights retention scale so that the committee can fill that out for each child as they are meeting with staff members and all that sort of thing. I think that's pretty good. Down next week, as we enter into next week, anybody in 3rd and 5th grade that did not pass, which would be up for retention. There's some benchmark paperwork that has to be done, and then Lynn Santabon needs to make sure that all the LEP waivers are done for kids.
I gave her all the scores today.
So she should be in good shape. I just want to help follow up on that.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep,
so can we keep that on the Monday to-do list and make sure that we get that scheduled? Anything else?
Is there anything else to do?
That's what I got to think about. I feel like it's speak now, forever hold my peace. I think we're good to go. I think we're in a good place, at least for tomorrow, and then I think we're prepared for Friday. And hold on, any other deadlines?
Goals look good?
Yeah.
You are in the green. Woohoo!
Yay. Great job.
Good job.
Good job.